now that we have our restaurants for the most part done, I think the next best step is to add reviews. So what we want to do here is, this is a show page of a restaurant, and we want to have some sort of link right here that allows users to review this restaurant. So if we go into our code here and look at our schema, you'll see that the reviews table doesn't have anything tying it to restaurants or to users. And so what we have to do is what we did for categories and restaurants up here, is to index a user ID and a restaurant ID to our reviews table. So what we need to do here is Rails generate migration, add user restaurant index to reviews. So it goes through, creates that for us, and all we have to say is add reference reviews restaurant index true, and user. Now if we rake db migrate that, it should add those IDs to our table here. If we take a look here, it does. So good. Now that we have these indexed, we can tie a review to a restaurant and a user. So now if we go into our routes here, what we want to do is say do and say resources reviews, except don't do it for the index or the show page. Now let's take a look at what we just did here. Now let's create some spaces in here so it makes it look a little bit better. When we do our rake routes, actually let's just do this. What we just did was created a path here of restaurant/reviews, but only for those that actions that are not index or show. So for like create, destroy, those actions. So now if we do a rake routes here, you'll see that for reviews here, it didn't create the actions or a path, a route for index or show. It only created it for everything else. And if you take a look at the URL here, you see restaurants/restaurant ID/review. And here, if you're on a particular one, this is a new restaurant review. It'll create a new one, and all the others will go and find that ID of the restaurant and the ID of the review, so that when you update it, it knows which one to update. So that's what this does right here. When you put it underneath another resource, essentially they call it nesting. When you nest it under another resource, it's basically creates this URL right here. So in the next video, we'll actually be creating reviews and tying it to a user and a restaurant, and then displaying it on the show page right here.